You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you. When the silence isn't quiet and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again.
The marching mountain cats.
Ladies and gentlemen, our new Georgia A&M president, Dr. Eva Fletcher.
There are those who say the historically black college is no longer necessary. This year, we begin our climb back to the top, and we will do it together.
You attended Ivy's, and you were the president of one of those fancy liberal arts colleges. Share with me what you know about life at a historically black college.
HBCU or Ivy, excellence is excellence.
As we mentioned, you come to this post after working with the Obama administration on its initiatives to strengthen the HBCUs. And, you know, we've talked about, and you've certainly had many conferences about the financial challenges facing these institutions and also some of the mission challenges facing some of these institutions. Many people still question why some of these institutions need to continue, given that the barriers that to educational opportunity that existed led to their creation no longer exist.
Right.
So what do you have to say about that?
In the Obama administration, we never questioned whether HBCUs need to exist. As a matter of fact, we did the reverse. We built in a set of high expectations for HBCUs in terms of the numbers they needed to graduate to help the nation reach the 2020 goal. That's the first time that has happened. So there's no question that we need HBCUs. We just need them to do what they do
But why do
better.
you need HBCUs?
Well, I think HBCUs serve a special function. They continue to serve a special function. We have a better time graduating students. It is a more nurturing environment in some cases.
Black history. What do you know about black history? Let me ask you a question. Prior to the transatlantic slave trade in the 1600s, what was your nationality? What did you call yourself? Some may say African. Well, Africa is a continent, and in that continent, there's over 47 different countries in there. Which one do you come from? What language did you speak prior to the 1600s? Was it English? There's over 1,500 dialects being spoken in the land of Africa. Pick one. What clothing did you wear? Was it high heels and stilettos? Skinny jeans and Vans? What food did you eat? Hamburgers and hot dogs? French fries and SpaghettiOs? What religion did you partake in? Who was your God? Was it Christianity and Cesare Borgia? Most of you have no idea about the answer to these questions. You have no recollection of any history prior to the transatlantic slave trade. Now, is that a coincidence or by random chance? I don't think so. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it that in the public school system that every time the subject of Black history is taught, it always begins in the 1600s and with slavery? Why is that? Doesn't that raise some antennas and spark inquiry? Why is it that the public school system is so committed to revolving Black history solely on the past 400 years?
Like there shouldn't be a Black History Month. You know, we're Americans, period. That's it.
Are you saying there shouldn't be a Black History Month because there isn't a White History Month?
Exactly. Exactly.
The question arises, what is the drawback on this history? Why does it keep being withheld? What's the big idea about it? Why is it being held hostage? That's the question. Why can't it be expounded on? 100 years prior to the 1600s? 300 years, 500 years, 1,000 years? Why is that information not being revealed? What's the big secret? What's the mysticism about it? What you're gonna come to realize is that your identity is the biggest kept secret on the planet Earth. Oh, you thought that NASA and the space station and the secret missions being conducted by them, oh, you thought that was the biggest kept secret on Earth. No, this is bigger than that. You thought that the government and the CIA and the FBI hiding information about UFOs and Planet X and Nubaru and aliens, you thought that was the biggest information and biggest kept secret. No, this is bigger than that. The elite Confederate has spent billions of dollars and constructed an innumerable amount of psychological stratagem to ensure that you never received and acquired this information that's about to be put out. You're about to receive pertinent information from some of the most reputable biblical scholars, historians, and archaeologists. And they all know something that you don't know. And that's your identity.
I personally believe that colors themselves do not define people, but we give the definition to the colors. So being Black in America, for example, means that you are subordinate to white people, or at least you are supposed to be. Being Black means that you have to be twice as good as everyone else in order to receive half of what they have. Being Black means that you are faced with certain obstacles that you can either overcome or you can let them overcome you.
What does it mean to be Black? Well, since I've been giving the class ADW over at Spelman College, the answer to this has become much more complex for me. It used to be just if you had Black in your family, as in your blood or your nationality, but now it means much more. For example, your culture, or there are places where I would be considered white overseas, so it's a very fluctuating definition.
I am a God-fearing Black woman. I'm smart and intelligent, and I'm just here to better myself and to learn and grow and help people along the way. Being Black to me is more about like how I carry myself and pretty much letting the world know that my skin color does not box me into a certain category or define my capabilities, but I do take pride in my Blackness. You know, I'm always out for appropriation. Like, Thanksgiving break, this lady had dreads, and I just had to hold my tongue because, you know, that liberal arts education. Whew. But being Black to me, it just symbolizes so much power and within myself, and I would say confidence, and like from my hair to the way I dress and style. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, we're just so great.
Being in a predominant white area is something I've had experience with over the years. I grew up in Maryland and South Carolina, and then at one point I moved to Apex, North Carolina, and there I was in a predominantly white area. And so it's interesting, different. It's not as bad as I thought it was being there. Like, being in an HBCU now and comparing like how I was treated, it's very different. I was still appreciated, and I still am appreciated in both areas, but for different reasons. For example, in Apex, where it's predominantly white, I'm appreciated for having thickness or being able to sing soulful, or a lot of the stereotypical African American things, which is, it's still like, you still feel appreciated, but not genuinely. But here, I get more genuine appreciation because I'm amongst people who have bodies like mine, or skin like mine, or hair like mine.
So being in a predominantly white area, concentrated area, for me, it was very easy to lose my identity, and I forgot that I even had an identity until my dad pointed out when I first started going to a predominantly white school, like in 4th grade. I used to talk like this and do white girl like activities and stuff, and you really don't realize what you're doing because we all just want to fit in, and you subconsciously mold yourself to fit into the environment that you're in. So when I finally decided to stop caring what other people think and to really discover who I was, it didn't affect me as much. But it's very frustrating being in a predominantly white area because there are certain things that you can explain all day, but they'll never understand. So you just have to make the decision as to whether you're going to allow what they don't understand to render you from your success, or if you're going to just push through it and not let it affect you.
Every day, you can spot us out of town by the way that we walk, the way that we talk.
Don't let the green man fool you. I know you don't like the faker. Tighten up, slow down. We don't.
Coming to an HBCU, you're introduced to a more diasporic curriculum, meaning you learn more about this than you do this. You learn that the civil rights movement was so much deeper than Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks. You learn that in a country founded on the oppression of blacks and other minorities, we still prevail. It is possible in the 21st century to have a black president, and it is also possible to have a woman as the Democratic presidential nominee.
Being at an HBCU affected the way I carry myself in outside environments greatly, because now I have a more, confidence in who I am, since, as I mentioned earlier, I'm appreciated for more genuine things here. I have learned to appreciate those genuine aspects about myself. And I can, flaunt them more in outside environments.
From going to an HBCU and being in the AUC, that I'm a lot more prideful, like even in the way that I walk and talk and carry myself. It's like, I guess you say I don't feel as inferior, so I found more value in my blackness and what I'm capable of. So like, I guess you say glares or the way that typically the way, if you saw somebody of a different race looking at you kind of sideways, you kind of be like, what are you looking at, you know, type of. But now I'm kind of like, because, you know, I don't know, it's like a Spelman thing or a HBCU thing, or I don't know, but it's like, it's really hard for people to really shake my confidence now and like who I am, because just like, I know what I'm capable of. So I guess you say I'm just a lot more, I feel like there's a lot more opportunity out there, not because they're giving it to me, but because I see it myself. So it's like there's nothing that I can't go after. Like if I want it, then I'll get it.
Tonight, I'm asking for the vote of every single African American citizen in this country who wants to see a better future. Look how much African American communities have suffered under Democratic control. To those I say the following: what do you have to lose by trying something new like Trump? What do you have to lose? I say it again, what do you have to lose? Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty, your schools are no good, you have no jobs, 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose? America must reject the bigotry of Hillary Clinton, who sees communities of color only as votes, not as human beings worthy of a better future.
I feel like just because we look the same, it's a discouragement in a way, because that just shows you all the more have to prove yourself. How do you do that? I feel like you just have to find yourself, because when you're surrounded by so many people who look like you start to believe that you guys are all just alike, when in reality we're really not. Like, there's so much differences between us. Simply what we see is not what we are. Like, we have so much more to offer than how we look.
With this, I think about race. Like, for example, if it's a bunch of black people, there's still more to that person, like their personality, and everyone has different talents. Even if they may be similar, there's still a way that you do it the way you do it, and you do it that way best. And so that can definitely set you apart from everyone else. Being African American does give me a sense of pride. Mainly because, you know, the struggle that we've been through as a whole race, and we are still fighting back to this day, even after all of these years. It takes endurance and, I guess, faith too.